Studied 5 years because I had failed. Because every year there's something that I would fail. There's a module that will
dribble you.
Firstly, it was anatomy and physiology, and you would be surprised. I also failed social science. First semester, I failed 2 modules.
No, but undergrad is difficult.
It's very difficult.
And if you are a new subscriber, welcome. But if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you for tuning in. So today we have a very special guest, Mr. Dr. Hlophe. But thank you, Spay, for agreeing to do this with me.
Okay.
And thank you for squeezing me in because you're hectic.
Very busy.
Yes. And congratulations for yesterday, by the way.
Thank you so much. It was a very beautiful day.
Yeah, I saw you a doctor. So we can really see the doctor's face coming to.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I got that outfit in the morning. So, but unfortunately, my presentation was at 2:30. So we managed to get everything in the morning, and then the presentation was prepared. So I just had to present.
Yes, and I saw your heart rates in your
No, it's because the presenters that were in front of me, the first one was the professor and the dean, and the other one was a doctor. I think he's a manager, a dean of faculty or something. So I'm sitting here, I'm unknown, and I'm not a dean, I'm not a professor, I'm not even yet a doctor. So my heart beat, and then the crowd, it was too much.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, but you did it.
Yeah.
You did, and you did it for all of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Representing.
Of course. Yes. So I thought, firstly, I would just introduce you and how we know each other. Yeah. Very funny story that the first time that I saw you, Okanye, I heard about you. It was through Twitter.
Yeah, it was on Twitter.
So I saw you posted something about health service management. It was a proof of registration, I think. And it was very particular because it was only the modules that I was doing. So if you had done nursing education before,
if you had studied at Stellenbosch before,
yes, then if you had been exempted, then you only had particular modules. So then when I saw that post, I was like, this looks like my proof of registration.
Why is he
what's happening? And then I sent you an inbox.
Yeah.
And then you said you're also doing health service management. And then we had started conversations there. It was during the pandemic, I remember very well. Started having conversation. And to my surprise, when I looked back at my pictures, you were literally behind me in my 2018 pictures.
K at that time.
Yes,
and I'm age.
So you were literally behind me.
Yeah, we graduated in the same group, same month.
Same day.
It was December something,
yes, on the 12th. Yeah. Crazy now when I look back at the pictures, there you are literally behind me. So all along you've been around, but just that I never had conversations with you.
Yeah. Someone might ask, how can you actually graduate with someone who you've never seen? So maybe just to elaborate that you
so I attended in East London, in the Eastern Cape. So it was nice that we could
in the Western Cape,
yes. So then it was nice that I only came here for graduation, and you were already attending here. So none of the people that I saw on that day, I knew none of the people that I saw on that day. They're only, literally, I knew no one there. I was just there for the graduation day.
Yeah, because I've never even seen you for the workshops. Yes. So, because there was 3 workshops there, so even if you attended the other province, when there's a workshop, then they will tell you to come. Obviously, it's not compulsory, but it's very nice because once you attend, you don't get to be given an extra assignment. But if you don't attend, then they will give you an extra assignment to watch.
But what they did for us is they made us buy a DVD.
Oh yes.
So then we had to buy this DVD, and then we had to write a reflection. And I mean, it was very nice because minus traveling costs.
Yeah.
And coming to booking and all of that. So it was very nice. So like when we started, that time we started, it was very nice. Okay, then we moved from there. Then I think then sort of our friendship started.
Yes.
During the pandemic, very difficult time. And then you worked with my husband at Siphesihle.
Yeah, I met Kuman at Siphesihle.
Yes.
You told me that he's coming.
He's coming
so
this side.
Expecting him. So he came. We even stayed in the same
apartment.
Yeah,
it was very nice.
The same,
yes, but like in the block of apartments. It was very nice that we had like sort of this established friendship.
Yes.
That by the time I came on board in the Western Cape, that already we had like, we literally had people here. We had
everyone. Nandil was here, I was here, so Tuman was here, so everyone was actually here.
Yeah, it was very nice. But yeah, and it's very funny now that we are here having this conversation on this channel about everything, like not sort of everything, but education based, and sort of our friendship started with education. So that's very nice. So just to give me a background, who are you, Sphe? Who is Sphe?
So Sphe is Umfana Gogo. Actually, I'm a granny's child. What can I say? I'm a nurse. Actually, I started as being a professional nurse, but currently I'm a nurse educator. Yeah. That's all. I'm actually 30, turning 31 this month.
Oh.
So yeah.
You're old.
I'm not old. I'm not old. I'm heading for my birthday very soon.
Oh yes. Hope there's big plans for the birthday.
I don't know.
But I mean, your birthday has always been epic. Okay, so that's not even.
Yeah, there are plans.
Discussion.
There are plans. Yeah, we're planning to go somewhere outside the country, but not very far.
Okay.
But it won't be South Africa, but actually.
No load shedding, where you're going, that's nice. Okay.
We hope so. Maybe they do have load shedding, but it's named with other. Okay. Maybe they call it something, I don't know. Yeah. I haven't done research on load shedding on the country that we are going to.
But the basic thing is it's going to be a great birthday.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do for a living, Sphe?
Oh, I wake up and no, I wanted to say I wake up and love my wife and I don't
yes, okay.
Yeah, so actually I'm a nurse educator in Saudi Arabia. So I started last year in September. That's when I left the country. So on a normal day, I'd wake up, go to work, start at my office because my department, the nursing education department, is outside the hospital. But literally, you can walk to the hospital, like 1 minute walk. It's not even a kilometer. You can even see from a distance. So
nice office, by the way. I've seen how you set it up.
Yeah, it's very nice. Just small, cozy, it's nice, very simple.
But it's therapeutic.
Yeah. Because I work with, we are 4. Okay, we are 12 actually. Okay. But some, they have offices in the hospital. So in the nursing education department, it's me, the director of nursing education. She's also from South Africa. So I have a colleague who's a critical resource nurse, more like a nursing educator. He's also from South Africa, and then you've got one nurse educator. So there's only 2 nurse educators. It's me and the other ladies from Malaysia.
So tell me then, what's the difference between a lecturer and a nurse educator? Is it the same thing?
A lecturer will be based more at the university or a college that has an intake of students. But for a nurse educator, it's a bit different. But it also depends from organization to organization. Because you remember when I was at Life, at the college, I was also a nurse educator. Yes. But it was different because I was lecturing in class. The students will come. We'll do clinical accompaniment from time to time. But you know, with clinical accompaniment, maybe you are expected to do 48 hours per month. Yeah? But with this type of nurse educator position that I'm on, we don't have students. That's the first thing. So we have the nursing interns. So they become interns after they've graduated from 4-year degree. So what we call ComServe, they call it internship. Yes, so it's nursing interns. So they no longer belong to the university, but they will belong to the nursing education department within the hospital.
Oh.
So then they will interview them before even because here you get to be allocated in the hospital. There you have to apply at the hospital, they interview you, and then they check your record history as when you were a student, how were you performing in terms of absenteeism, and also how did you perform in the wards.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, like unlike in South Africa where our ComServes automatically get placed,
yes,
they don't have to do any interviews. That side they need to...
You must be interviewed by the panel in the hospital so that you can be accepted to be an intern.
Oh.
Yes.
That's very interesting and tricky considering how differently things are in South Africa, and how easy it's just to get placement. Then I think then competition is much more higher.
So it also gives them an opportunity to actually choose the hospital that they want. Unlike here, when you don't get the hospital that you want, then they'll place you anyway. But for them, there has never been cases whereby you don't get the hospital that you want, unless you were, when you were a student, you absenteeism, maybe you had the
bad student record. So
your record. Basically, before the interview, they will pull up your record. And
hectic.
So they record everything. And then, so on my normal day, I'll go to the office, check in a few things every morning. Because if you're a nurse educator in the hospital, since I'm working in the hospital, they allocate you a ward. So it's either a ward or a unit, depends on your experience. But because I have an experience in emergency,
trauma.
So I'm a nurse educator for the ER, emergency room. So every day I'll go to ER because every morning they will have what is called huddles. Huddles like morning meetings, morning in service. That's also where I try to squeeze my presentation. But I don't like to do presentation because our thing is to bring presentation into bedside. So we want to teach in the bedside, not
as opposed to just standing there.
Yes, you stand in the nursing station and you just give lectures. And anyway, everyone wants to sign. But how sure are you that they receive the message? So you want to actually be in the bedside with the patient and the staff or the students that you are teaching, so that you can also do the demonstration or simulation rather than talking.
That's interesting.
And then what we do, we run workshops. Any incidents in the hospital that require maybe refreshment or maybe more education, anything related to education, but also how it gets allocated to you, it depends from which ward did it come from. So say there was an incident in ER, then I'm responsible to intervene. It's the nurse manager or it's the nursing educator. So if it's education related, maybe the staff didn't know the procedure, then it's my responsibility to make sure that the staff are competent on this
specific skill.
Yes.
And then tell me now, is it then the nursing education, is it only specific to the interns, or do you also do like in-service training to staff that's already been there for long?
As a nurse educator or as a nursing education department, we deal with, I would say, three categories. First, four. So we deal with the nursing students. They belong to the King Saudi bin Abdulaziz University. So they come maybe once a week. They don't do too much practicals. We monitor them, but not much, because they don't belong to us. They still belong to the university. But because they are within the hospital, we still need to keep an eye on them, although we don't keep any records for them. So we have the interns, the one I was telling you about. So we are fully in charge of the interns. So we're also responsible for their education and also the progress throughout their internship. Then we have residents. So in Saudi, once you finish your internship, you can be a professional nurse. But professional nurse that side are called staff nurses. But it's one and the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Staff nurse is something else.
Yeah.
But in Saudi, if you are called a staff nurse, it means you are a professional nurse. There's staff nurse 1, there's staff nurse 2. Usually staff nurse 2 are nurses from the Philippines or Malaysia. Maybe they have a diploma in nursing. But it's categorized in terms of the qualification. But the nurses that come from South Africa, they are just staff nurse 1. But also that depends on the salary. Okay. So we also deal with the residents. So if you're still interested to work at the organization that I work for, you don't automatically become a staff nurse. If you are a Saudi, from Saudi, you must be an intern, you must be a nurse resident. So this is another year.
Okay.
And also we deal with staff nurses. Yeah. But basically we deal with everyone, because even the workshops, the workshops are mandatory for everyone. So you get workshops that are mandatory for you to attend and get certificates within the 12 months period that you are employed.
Is it more like CPDs that we do this side?
Yeah, some of the workshops, because the one that I'm being allocated for is arrhythmias. For emergency unit, we'll run it in June. So it has 8 credits CME. Okay. It's more like CBD. Okay. So what happens is that once you registered as a professional nurse or as a nurse specialist in the Saudi Council of Health Specialists, you get to be, it's more like a requirement that within 2 years you must have obtained maybe 30 credits or 20 credits for you to be able to renew. If you don't have those credits, if you didn't, you were not able to collect all these credits within the 2 years that you are registered. Unlike here, it's 1 year. But there it's 2 years, but also you must attend this workshop to gain these credits. So yeah, that's why it's very important for also the staff to attend these workshops, because they know it's also beneficial to them.
And their renewal and their
yes, because when you renew, you have to produce all these things. Besides the Saudi Council, also in Saudi, everyone, including the Saudis, they will issue a contract. It's never permanent, you see. So when you renew a contract, yes, we can look at it as renewing. It's very easy. They will always renew. But it's very difficult to renew someone who doesn't have certificates or who doesn't meet the criteria to renew, because you need a certificate for this particular workshop. You need BLS, you need ACLS, you need pediatric or neonatal Saudi resuscitation program. Depends which one you work.
It's a lot of learning, and I think I like the fact that it's
ongoing.
It's just ongoing.
They say it's tiring. Some of them they don't like this learning. Some of them just want to go to work, come from work, get paid.
I sort of understand, but at the same time, if you're not learning as a nurse, you tend to become lax.
Yes.
And nursing is evidence-based practice.
Yes.
You constantly need to learn something new every day.
Yeah, because the practice is revolving, and then you have to keep up with the new practices and the new standards. So if we're not going to be able to teach or attend this workshop, we're not going to know what has changed, what is still there, what is no longer there.
What's not working anymore.
Yeah.
And I think we spoke earlier about you now being on your way to Dr. Nesper, and we also spoke about doing the same qualifications. So what qualifications do you have, and with that, is it your qualifications that you've attained that have made you to be a nurse educator right now?
So I have 4 qualifications. I'm currently busy with my 5th one. So I'll name them as maybe random. The first one is Bachelor of Nursing from DUT, and then after that we studied Diploma in Nursing Education at Stellenbosch, and then we also studied the management, which is Health Service Management in Nursing. That's the other qualification I have. And I have a Master of Nursing Science from CPUT, and I'm currently busy with Doctor of Nursing at DUT.
So you went back to DUT?
I went back to DUT because I started in UKZN.
Oh.
In 2022, I started in UKZN. Yo, I struggled. Yo,
Were you also doing nursing?
Yeah, I was doing nursing. It's PhD in nursing. I was doing PhD.
I remember.
I had a very tough time.
Yes.
They allocated me a supervisor. Yo, she treated me like a baby. Yo, she undermined me. Yo, I was really undermined.
But
was this time.
So that was, let's backtrack. That was a 20?
Last year, 2022.
Year. But I mean, you
then
went quite quickly.
No, remember? Okay, maybe I need to specify. Before, okay, so in 2021, when I finished my qualification, the Master of Nursing, my qualification came very late. I think it was around June, but I finished in December 2022. So the marking, because remember when the masters gets to be marked outside your institution, and it also needs to be one. There's two examiners, one from the other institution and the other one from the other institution, but they are never from your institution. So it takes a very long time, especially if they take their time. You know, lectures are always busy, the marking is not a priority, especially if it's not from their department. Yes, it's something, maybe it's something extra because it's not allocated from their department. It's just easy cash from other departments. But because you're an expert on this topic, maybe you are asked to moderate and examine. So it came late. I think it's around July. Then I wanted to start my PhD, but then the universities were giving me a hard time. They said no,
because they need the qualification.
Yeah, and also they said you must start in 2022. Even if when I got a qualification, they said you can only apply for 2022.
Is there a specific reason though?
Yeah, they said because the year has already started.
Oh, the academic year.
With some universities, they can start anytime. But unfortunately, I wanted Stellenbosch. I wanted UWC. The reason is because I was here in the Western Cape. Because sense. I like to go on campus. I like to be in the library. Yes, I have a mini office I had when I was still here. I had a mini office at home. It was very comfortable, but there comes a time when you're just so lazy because your bed is also here. So I want to go to the library. So now, I don't want to have challenges in terms of, but I'm studying at UK and I'm in the Western Cape. Now where do I go? Do I go to the municipality library or whatsoever? Or do I ask a student in CPUT to sneak me in? But because I was a staff at that time, I could have went to the library, but I just wanted to study at these universities, but they gave me a hard time. But anyway, it's fine. And then, the hardship in UKZN. So how did I start my PhD in 2022 in UKZN? A friend actually referred me to her supervisor to say, just speak with her. She doesn't have so much students. Maybe you can start working now, and then automatically when you have a supervisor, it's more like you are being accepted. Because the exception comes with, is someone going to
just be able to supervise you, and is someone going to be able to work with your topic, because it also comes with topics.
Because the biggest problem, that's why I always advise people, if you want to do masters or if you want to do PhD, just do research. Research about the department that you want to go and study at. I'll make Stellenbosch an example, because they have a very nice profile. If you go into the nurse education profile or Department of Nursing profile, you'll see the staff, you'll see everyone. Okay, this one is Prof so-and-so, specializes in this, have an interest in this. So you can already see that your topic if you target to go to
Stellenbosch, who is it going to be aligned to?
You must align your topic according to their interest and also their field of work. So if you come with HIV and no one actually does HIV, you're not going to be accepted.
True.
Yes.
Because who is going to supervise you?
No one.
Yeah.
You don't want to supervise in a topic that you are not expert on, because how can you guide that student? You
can't. It's gonna be difficult.
Yeah.
But that is a very interesting journey.
So I approached this professor, and then we started working. She was very nice. From August, we started working in November.
Last year.
No, 2021. Yes, November, December.
It's been a while, almost.
Yeah, and then in January I registered at UKZN, and then we continued. And then she started changing. Now I'm registered, now she changed. But unfortunately, if your study is still in the lower stages, you haven't presented for ethics. Yeah. If you haven't got for anything for ethics, then your study does not belong to the university. You can deregister anytime. So what I did is that when I registered at UKZN, a week later, I got accepted at DUT. But I sent them an email. You see, something said, do not ignore them. I responded and said, no, I actually got a university that accepted me to study, because they didn't interview me, but they said my abstract, the concept paper that I sent, is not in line with what they supervise. So I said, okay, it's fine. But later they accepted me. So
they had someone then who was in line with the topic.
I had already erased them. I even forgot I applied at DUT. But they accepted me a week later after registering at UKZN. I had already started. Remember, I started in November already. Yes. So my topic was very far now. So, but when I continued, then started having difficulties with the supervisor, a lot of undermining, a lot of shouting as if I'm a PhD student and I'm being treated.
Why would you shout?
I'm being treated otherwise. The other day I called her, I think she was driving. She said, you can speak. We spoke. Lucky for me, I record everything that comes to my PhD, even the conversation.
Yes, because you need to backtrack when you need to write something.
Yes, because I cannot always scribble notes. I don't like to scribble. Let me record, and then later I can, even if when I'm going through the document, and then I can always reflect and listen, rather than...
That's a very important
thing. Yeah, rather than scribbling. Yeah, I even have a folder that says recording. I save with the date and also the topic that we are discussing, so that I can always refer back. Yeah. So I recorded this late. That's how I kept on. You know, when you are convincing yourself that no, maybe I'm hearing things. Maybe it's maybe I'm soft. So I sent it to my friend. I sent it to my girlfriend, and then they also hear the same thing. That lady was so rude. I don't even want to. So I deregistered at UKZN. Fortunately, it was when I deregistered in July. DUT only had 2 weeks for any student to be registered and continue the year. But you have to pay for 2022 as a whole, because it's not a semester program. So I deregistered this side, and I went this side, DUT, I registered, then I continued. Up until today.
It was meant to happen the way that it happened.
Because even when I presented yesterday, that was part of my doctoral study.
Yes.
So I presented a piece of my work.
Abstract.
Yes.
Oh, that's very well done.
Yeah.
So tell me, how has been, I think I've sort of like had an idea of what this postgrad or this PhD journey has been in terms of challenges, and it's just tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Postgrad is very difficult.
It's very difficult, especially with the masters and your PhD. For nursing education, nursing management, you just need to be focused.
Yeah, you just need to get a DP and write your exams.
Yes.
And
you need to be focused, and you also need to, not connection per se, but you need to to know where to go.
Yes.
Because in terms of practicals, for us, we are never allocated to when you are doing your nursing education. You have to go there. Just like when you're undergrad, you are being sent to a hospital. They already know about you. But with nursing education, now you have
to find ourselves.
You must find it yourself. It's either a college or a university, but you will approach them yourself, asking to do practicals, and also with management. But for management, you also need to approach the
hospitals. Yes, back then when we did our qualification, we had to go find ourselves.
Yeah, but for us here in the department, they said everyone who wants to go to Tiger, because Tigerberg has a program specific in line with Stellenbosch.
Okay.
So it's for a week. Yeah, so that they can organize speakers. You know, there needs to be a finance speaker, someone from human resource. You have to tick all those boxes, and then they have to sign. It's a very thick book. And if you don't have signatures, you can pass your qualification, but that book is very important. Yeah, it's a practical book. It's very important. Yeah.
So connections, I think so. Like what you say, not really connections, but you need
a man of approach. Yeah.
Yes.
You need to have a man of approach and know how to approach people, because sometimes it's your attitude or your arrogance that will not give you what you want, or you're not going to get what you want, basically.
True. And undergrad, how was undergrad like for you? Because I think the subscribers, like I think most of the subscribers are like, we do have undergrads. Do you think we also have postgrads?
A mix of everything.
A mix of everything. So I mean, we also need to cater to our own undergrad people.
So for undergrad, I had mentioned that I did the Bachelor of Nursing Science at DUT.
Yes.
But the DUT that I'm studying my PhD at is Ritz campus.
Okay.
For my undergrad, I really struggled. Yeah, because I matriculated in 2010, and then I started my undergrad in 2011. I didn't apply for that particular nursing because, firstly, it was new.
Okay.
Yeah, it started 2010, so they only had one group that was going to do second year, and they had first years that were going to start in 2011. So even the application, they did not receive too much application because it was on the CAO, Central Application Office. Because if you're applying in KZN, you only use one form, which is called Central Application Office.
So this qualification, was it a new qualification in DUT specifically?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was just approved. Prof. Mia was the program, the one who applied for the program at the time. So it was approved by SANC and then SAQA, so the program started. So it was new, no one knew about it, and also I think people were a bit skeptical about, because you don't want to study something that has...
You don't want to be a guinea pig.
Yeah.
You don't want things starting with you. Yes.
Yeah. So I struggled a lot because, remember this degree is 4 years. 4 years. But, but I studied 5 years because I failed. Because every year there's something that I would fail. There's a module that will
dribble you.
Firstly it was anatomy and physiology. And you would be surprised, I also failed social science. First semester I failed 2 modules.
No, but undergrad is difficult.
It's very difficult.
Undergrad is very difficult.
I think the most difficult part is that you cannot relate to anything that is being said. You've never been in the hospital. It's just foreign language to you, and to adjust everything is very difficult. Yeah, and also I remember Indumiso campus. I'm from Pietermaritzburg, so Indumiso campus is in Pietermaritzburg. So for me to come from home to walk to Indumiso, it was like 15 minutes. So I was at day school. I didn't stay at the rest. So I'd attend campus later. I'd go home. And I'd go chill with my friends, even if it was exam. And also, I think I had lack of knowledge, because I thought that the modules are basically like subjects at school. So you can fail in June,
but you'll pass at the end of
in December. So when I failed, I was like, and they said, no, you'll repeat these ones next year. I'm like, what? Yeah, you failed, you'll repeat next year. Second semester, other modules must start. But these ones will block next year.
Because you can't, and also I think with other modules, if you fail some modules, you can't proceed to do other modules.
Because it's a prerequisite of other modules. So I failed anatomy, so I can continue with anatomy 1B. But anatomy 2A, which is second year, I cannot do because when I failed anatomy A, I was able to continue because with anatomy B. But come second year, you cannot do or you cannot continue anatomy 2A, which because the prerequisites for you to be able to register for this module were the previous modules, which is anatomy. So I had to study with the first years, regardless that my peers were studying for second year. So that's how I failed. And also I had struggles, man, not only with anatomy. Pharmacology was the general nursing side, everything. When the list for supplementary always came out, I always make sure that I must go and check. If I'm not there, I'm worried now because for me it means maybe I failed. I was never even positive that I had passed the module or whatsoever because of the challenges that I really struggled with undergrad.
But then how did you how did you cope then with all these challenges?
It's just maybe it's more related to the background, where you come from, how's home, who's going to change home. Say you give up now, but the situation at home is not going to change because that means you must go and look for those temporary piecework jobs, and your family is struggling, so you are really the hope of your family. So that also is a burden on you. But then you just have to be more focused, try to eliminate all the challenges and get this qualification so you can make the situation better at home and also your own situation. And you obviously want to be somewhere in the near future. So even regardless of the challenges that you might face during your undergrad, I think your most motivation that must come is that where do you want to see yourself? Do you want to go back at home and maybe do work that you don't like? Maybe probably we don't earn much, né?
Yes.
But if you end up wanting to leave the qualification or don't obtain the qualification because of the challenges, but life would get more difficult if you don't have any qualification. Especially, I know there's a high rate of unemployment even with those that have qualifications. But I think we are still fortunate witnessing that there are jobs that are out there. But even if we don't have jobs, you can always do locums, register with an agency, and you go from hospital to hospital. When there's a shortage, they will always call you to come and work. So you can always make money.
You want to be somewhere and you want to be something in life. And look at you now, in Saudi Arabia.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. Did you ever imagine you'll be where you are today?
No. No.
And that's pair that failed anatomy in first year at DUT. If you would have to meet him, what would you tell him?
I'd probably tell him that nothing is out of reach when you believe. So if you believe that you are capable of achieving something, you are going to achieve that qualification or obtain that current position, or the position that you want in the near future. You just have to believe. Yes. And do the right things towards that direction. When I say do the right things, if you know that there's a position that you want, or there's a job that you want, obtain the qualification and experience that are relevant. That are going to take you there. I see a lot of people, they end up studying qualifications that are not
for the sake of it.
It's not for the sake of I'm just
I have a full bar.
Yes, because for me, I have nursing education, the undergrad, which I wanted to be a nurse. But because I also wanted to be a lecturer and nurse educator, I did nursing management and education. You know, you cannot be a lecturer, or the requirement for you to be a lecturer at a university level, you need to have masters.
True.
So that's how I did my masters. But I also have management. Why did I study management? Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be only a lecturer. You want to be an HOD. You want to be a dean of faculty. You want to be somewhere. Because you want to go step by step. So those are the qualifications that I have. But I'm studying PhD. What is the benefit? Because if you are in academia, you want to be a published scholar. So your work needs to be out there in the world. For you to be recognized, that it's not about just studying, but also you need to produce new knowledge. That's how they end up writing books or developing policies or frameworks. So we also want, as the youth of nursing, to have a voice for these new frameworks or new policies. And also maybe you want to be a professor one day. So you must start being a doctor, obtain your PhD, and then the minimum level for HOD, you need to be a doctor. Yes, there might be a recommendation or some exception, but the minimum requirement is for you to be a doctor. You have a PhD
published.
Yes, and you must be published. Maybe you must have 5 articles, so and so forth and so forth. So I'm just saying the qualifications that I have, they talk to each other. I don't have a qualification that is just a qualification. I just wanted to, no, I don't have.
Just wanted to have full bars.
Yes, no,
no. But I kind of get it now, and I think even for anyone watching, they sort of will have an idea of, so this is how you got to where you are today.
Yes.
You studied what you studied, and you worked towards, you know, getting to where you are.
And also, just to, you're a lecturer right here at Stellenbosch. So if someone wants to be a lecturer, don't assume, don't look around. Go to a specific person and ask them, how can I get to the current position that you are on? Because I'm studying nursing, but at the end of the day, I don't want to end up in the bedside, but I want to be a matron, I want to be surgeon, or I want to be a lecturer, I want to be HOD. Then you go to that right person, then they will take you into the right, how to obtain these, what qualifications do you need, what
mentorship.
Yes, it's more like mentorship.
Yeah, and I think it also boils down then to us that where we are, so how we're also disseminating the information, so that, you know, people that are not here, that they also can get to where we are.
Yes, I mean, for us, I would say maybe for the old nurses who are in the higher positions, education and management, maybe they didn't feel comfortable to share the information. But we are here to share the information. We might not know everything. That's why I always say, if someone asks me something and I don't know, maybe I have a friend who is in that current position, but I'm not going to know what is needed. So I'll always refer. You know, I like to say, just tell them that I sent you. If maybe they don't believe, then they can always, and I always try to send them a message.
And I can vouch shame of the information that you give. I think on many occasions, I needed information, and you know, you were very willing to share. But
I still get these long messages from, especially Instagram, not much on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Well, I prefer getting a long message rather than saying, hi, hey, how are you?
Please, let's get to the point.
I don't, I'm not a busy person, and I'm just chill.
You're not full of yourself.
But if you go to write something that is very short, I'm not looking to make a conversation, but rather, because if you are making a conversation, maybe I'm too busy, and then I'm like, I don't even know what you want to say. So I must
keep on having to continue this conversation until you get to what you need to say.
Just write a full text and I will respond. I always respond with a full text because I don't give half information.
Yeah.
I'll give you all the information that you want, and at the end I say, if there's anything that is confusing that I wrote, just ask me. Then I'll be able to respond. Yeah, so that is what I prefer. Just send me the full text of whatever you want to know, but I also have a link that you can always read my information. Not it's a personal information, because sometimes you ask, what qualifications do you have? What experience do you have? So with this ORCID, it's a research, it's more like LinkedIn, but for researchers, yes, because every time you publish, then they'll link your work into this research. So you must create a profile, and you must write about yourself, you must write about your experience, the qualifications that you have, how many publications do you have. So I like, because it's also attached in my profile, most of my profile, my IG and Twitter and Facebook. So if you can go to the link, if there's something that is confusing, you can always ask me. But if you not go to ask the link, then you tend to ask basic questions that I don't mind to answer them, but I feel it's more easier.
Also reading.
Yeah, it's more easier when you have read about. Maybe once you are reading, you'll get the answers. Maybe if you had 10 questions, maybe you are only left with 2. So if you ask me those 2 questions, then I can respond to them.
Makes sense. Yeah. This has been very informative, Spain. I also got to learn some very interesting information about you. You know, that we both failed modules in our undergrad. Yes. But we are here now. So thank you so much for your time. And I feel so honored that, you know, you came by.
Thank you for the invite. I actually rejected the invite because she wanted us to do the online. I said, no, I don't do online. I don't want to do online. I'll come to you. I think that was last year in December. Yes. Yeah, and I told her that please, if you can wait, I'll come back in March. I didn't have the date at that time because I was waiting for my wife to come, so that we can
come together.
Yes, we can discuss the date of our vacation or leave to come back in South Africa. So that once I know the date, then I informed you that, look, I'll be in Cape Town for 2 days because I have a conference that I'm presenting on, but once I'm done, then I want to
have all the time.
Yes, I want to do the interview face to face.
And I think it's much more better face to face than it would have been online.
Imagine all the hiccups with there's network problem.
Network, load shedding.
All
of that. No, thank you so much, Faye. This was very helpful. And I think if anyone wants to learn more about you or how you got to where you are, and if they'd like to go through the same journey, then definitely go through Spare's profile, his ORCID profile, and then you'll be able to see. And if you've got any questions, you can ask him. And thank you for tuning in, and please don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like and to share the content. Bye.